Good evening and welcome to Home Park, where Argyle take on Bolton Wanderers and we are top of the league.
Onto his right foot, Ryan Hardy, he finishes!
Hello from a very wet and wild Home Park for this evening's Sky Bet League One game against Bolton Wanderers. The atmosphere might be damp, but our spirits certainly aren't. We are hoping for another successful bid from Argyle this evening. I am Erin Black, and over the next hour we are going to be bringing you the team news for this evening's game. We will be hearing from Jordan Garrick after his first goal from the Greens at the weekend, and we'll be building up to what will hopefully be a great game of football here on Argyle TV this evening. And joining me up in our sheltered position this evening from the gantry is former Argyle striker Ian Stonebridge. Back again, Ian. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I think the wind's just about going to whip some rain in here, so yeah, we might not be safe even in here.
No, well, we both got our raincoats on, so fingers crossed, and I'm sure both of how we're looking over the next kind of hour will be a good indication of how the weather is going. My hair will be blown to tatters, so will be your live weather forecast as it goes on. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Argyle are going into this match, Sky Bet League One. At the top, they are on a run of 12 games without defeat, and that run was extended on Saturday when we beat Oxford United at the Kassam Stadium.
our out of possession stuff, the work rate, and the desire of the boys and the character shown. Because we know Oxford are a good team. They took the lead early doors the first 5 minutes, and we had to knuckle down. The first 15 minutes they controlled it, which we knew they were potentially going to, and we just had to slow it down because of how good they are, especially at home. But to score 3 goals and come away with 3 points, magnificent for us. So yeah, listen, pleased, happy days, buzzing. And probably when people seeing the team sheet and seeing Ryan weren't playing because he's been ill, he actually came up this morning with the secretary and Zach Newton, and he's not being well, as Mrs. has been ill as well. He's wanting to play 90 minutes. We had to do our work without him yesterday, and we were putting Jordan in there anyway because of that, and I thought he was fantastic. So really pleased for Joe. But I said there in the squad, it's not just about 11 players, it's about the squad game, and that's being rotated to the squad today in one way or another because of the situation with Ryan. Again, Broom, he's lasting 60 minutes, who's could probably do a rest, or he's running around everywhere. But all the lads, McCauley's come in, played 2 games, 3 games on the bounce. So what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that we recover the lads great in the greatest way and get them ready for the next games. But fantastic, every single one of them. Obviously I don't like praising just one player in terms of all of them were fantastic to a man just because they didn't score, but I thought the back lads again were fantastic, and all over the park. Jordan Houghton probably goes unnoticed, but he gets us going, gets us ticking. So look, really pleased. I'm absolutely over the moon with the results, you know what I mean, because of the way we've been and the way we've been going. And it's always tough, isn't it, to come to Oxford, but we have to play it down. We have to never too high, never too low, and we have to put it to bed now and recover the lads tomorrow and Monday and put a game plan towards for Tuesday. We might have to start getting a police escort, I think, to some grounds because there's that many of them, especially when it's local, because they're there in the numbers, they're waiting for us, clapping us off the bus. Fantastic. I'm sorry for the bus breaking down, but I think they missed their goal, didn't they, which is good. And then obviously they've got here 30 minutes in, so they've seen us score 3 goals rather than see us concede one. So that's probably a bonus for them and a bonus for us. But no, they were fantastic, and see them all to stay behind till the end to show their appreciation to the boys. It really means a lot. I'm pleased, fantastic.
A comeback win for Argyle, and Ryan Lowe absolutely buzzing with that performance. Ian, just how impressive was that victory against Oxford?
It was fantastic, yeah, an awesome result. And actually, after the way that Oxford started that game, for Argyle to come away with all 3 points again is fantastic. Right at the start of that game, Oxford kind of set their stall out, came out and passed the ball really well, got the goal and went ahead. And actually, it was looking quite a worrying situation for Argyle, but they kind of scored almost with their first attack, and from that point on, they didn't really look back.
Yeah, I suppose it could have been quite a stressful moment with that early goal from Oxford, but Argyle pulled it out of the bag once again. The run now goes on. I believe we're up to 12 games without a defeat. So is the pressure mounting for Argyle, or does that just add to their repertoire?
I guess, in some respects the pressure mounts because top of the league and from those early games where perhaps there was an argument, Argyle have played some of the teams that were towards the bottom of the table perhaps, but again, you can only play who's put in front of you by the fixture list, and now it's starting to look like Argyle, are really meaning business and are at the top of the table because that's absolutely where they deserve to be. Yeah.
Now, Ryan Lowe himself has spoken about the team's work off the ball. The energy of the team looks really incredible at the moment, doesn't it?
It does, and I mean, it was a key feature of their goals really at the weekend in the way that you saw midfield players and in particular Kamara getting forward and really putting pressure on Oxford's defence, getting into the box, getting on the end of things, and importantly for him now showing that quality to get the finish as well.
Yeah, and scoring in that game, of course. It must be really nice for him. He's been quite a prominent player in the season so far. A lot of fans, really supporting him. But for him to get those goals as well, a word on him as a player.
Yeah, it's not difficult to see why he's so popular. He works so hard, and he's got a fantastic smile on his face. It's clear that he cares so much about playing for the club, and he's enjoying himself so much that it can't help but rub off on everyone really. So yeah, to see him come away with those goals at the weekend was fantastic.
And as a striker yourself, what did you make of the goals individually?
Yeah, there was actually some really nice link-up play. So, Luke Jeffcott, although he didn't get on the score sheet himself, he played an important part in both, in 2 of the goals. And we saw Jordan Garrick obviously come into the team. There were probably a few raised eyebrows at the start that Ryan Hardy was on the bench. Obviously, we kind of found out later on there was a legitimate reason for that, obviously. But he came into the team, Garrick, and really shone. gave Oxford's defenders the run around all afternoon, really, and got his deserves as well.
Yeah, there's been a couple of reports written by Chris Errington, who's the sports reporter for Plymouth Live, who obviously follows all these games very closely, saying that Jephcott's kind of fitting in as a bit of a assist king, in this tactic and formation as it progresses. How important is it to have a player like that that's happy to assist as well as score? Because of course, if you're assisting, you're not necessarily scoring, which is maybe a little drop to take.
It's interesting because I think if you'd had asked Luke at the start of the season if he'd be happy with his goals tally by this point in the season, and I reckon he'd have been happy with how many he's got. So it's not even like he's not scoring, but clearly he's playing that other part. And people have mentioned a little bit perhaps his all-round game maybe improving. So maybe it was fair to say he was that real box player, getting on the end of crosses and being an out-and-out finisher. But certainly through the early part of this season, he's shown that his link-up play has improved, and as I said, those 2 assists for the goals at the weekend were crucial and created those opportunities for Argyle.
Yeah, and Michael Cooper as well. Key team player, of course, as the goalkeeper for the squad. Yes, he did let in that goal, but overall his consistency has just been phenomenal, hasn't it? Really, going throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we mentioned it already. The fact that he's now got that solid defence in front of him, although there's been some interchanging of the players in there, that the improvement in the defensive unit this season is again provides a fantastic foundation for Argyle to work with, and Mike being behind them will make the world of difference to him.
Yeah. Do you think Argyle's defensive unit and the knowledge of it is starting to spread to other teams? Do you think this is something that they're going to be aware of as more games continue to happen throughout the season? Yeah,
it's certainly not any secret the type of football that Argyle try to play. So I don't think that they're likely to end the season with the best defensive record in the league.
Yeah.
But as we see, as long as the defence gives the team the chance to stay in the game, they'll be desperate to get clean sheets, make no bones about that. But the fact that Argyle tend to play an attacking style, they will aim to always obviously go and score more goals than the opposition, and so far they've been able to do that more often than not.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. And while you need defence in a team, you also need attack, and one of those players that got another goal was Jordan Garrick, his first for the Greens at the weekend, and he spoke of his delight getting on the score sheet.
I can't even describe it. The atmosphere was great. I'm just glad to help the team in any way I can, really, whether that's goals, assists, clean sheets, last minute tackle, working hard, whatever it is. But fortunately it came in terms of a goal today. Buzzing for that's my first one. I've been working hard on the training ground, trying to get in position to score more. And I want to help chip in a bit more, because then it takes the pressure off some of the strikers a bit more, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was nice. It was a nice feeling. It's one of them, I knew as soon as I cut in that I was going to score, because that's my signature move, and every player has a go-to move. That's my kind of finish. I practice them a lot, and that's how a lot of my goals go in. I don't really ever scream as top corners and stuff like that. Mine are always composed in the bottom corner. That's how I finish. It's not every day you get that left foot shot in the last half. That ended out for the corner flag. So yeah, no, it's all right. I love it. I take the good and the bad in it, but yeah, it was nice.
And also, you're not going to get down as the assist, but those 2 little step overs or walkovers for Pan's both goals, that's pretty decent awareness as well.
Yeah, do you know? I knew as a player, if I was Pan and I didn't leave that, I'd be fuming if I didn't score. And I realised that he was in a better position than me to get a shot away. So, of course I want to score, but it's not I don't need to take it off his toes if he's got a better chance. So, and he spoke to me, so I was just let him go. And luckily he put both of them in the back of the net. But if he didn't, I would have been on his case. But he did, so I'll let him go this week.
Just finally, there were 1,800 supporters there. I think one of the supporters coaches was late arriving as well because it broke down. But just try and describe what it was like, especially when you scored, I suppose. You ran over to them as well, didn't you? Just playing on an away ground having that sort of support?
It's ridiculous, to be fair. Like every week, every game, the away stand's packed, and do you know what? I can't thank the fans enough, because there's times like in the second half when they're on top, you know, momentum's on their side, and the fans are still singing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I look up and I'm just like, nah, I got to get that extra 5%. Do you know what? They came all this way. I get that extra 5% for them, that extra 2%. See this over the line. Come on, we don't want to concede. You know what I mean? So I hope they enjoy that, enjoy the Saturday night, you know, and have a safe journey back.
Jordan Garrick speaking there. Ian, what did you make of Garrick's performance in that game?
Yeah, as we mentioned, I guess it was a bit of a surprise to see him start the game in the first place, but pretty much as soon as Oxford had that spell at the start of the game and you know, Argyle needed to come back into it, he provided that kind of input of pace. Nice assist from Luke Jeffcott to put him through, and he showed his ability, not just in terms of outpacing someone, but real nice bit of dribbling to cut inside and finish really calmly into the far corner.
Do you think he's starting to come up as another option for Ryan Lowe now at the front?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you know, it starts to look like we've got almost an embarrassment of riches up there, where, you know, several players who are in form, scoring goals. You know, everyone that's pretty much had a game this season has got on the score sheet. So, yeah, Garrick again, he's done himself no harm with the way that he played, and obviously that versatility is another string to his bow as well.
And how useful is his pace? Because we've seen him whip up and down the pitch at quite a rate.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that combination with Luke Jeffcott worked really well. As we said, Luke's been coming short a little bit more, linking up the play, but Garrick was able to really stretch the game. And, you know, there were spells, particularly in that first half, where Oxford's defenders really didn't know how to defend against him, because he was turning them inside out, going both ways, so turning on his left and right foot and really causing them lots of problems.
Is that kind of versatility quite rare in players, for him to be able to, like you said, kind of switch the way he does, or is that, you know, common? I suppose you get trained in certain areas, don't you?
Yeah, so I think, you know, he's obviously used to carrying the ball, and he's effective in a 1v1 situation. As a striker, it's a tremendous asset to be able to, you know, obviously strike the ball on both feet, because it means defenders are then unsure of which way to try and show you. So yeah, you know, his versatility, both positionally and in terms of what he offers as a striker, is a real asset.
Yeah, I bet. And like you said, good to have. What was it? An embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
That's a lovely way of having a lot of great players in Argyle's team, which everyone will be really happy for. I think we're going to take a look at the team news now. So we'll talk you through everyone that is playing in the starting 11 and everyone that's on the bench. So first of all, we have got Cooper, number 1. Houghton, number 4. Wilson, 5. Scar, 6. Broom, 7. Captain Joe Edwards at number 8. Hardy's wearing the number 9 shirt. We've got Garrick, 14. Grant, 15. Galloway, 22. And Kamara wearing the number 28. And then on the bench this evening, we've got the likes of Burton, Gillespie, Mayer, Agard, Randall, Law and Jeffcott. In just a moment, they are due to be coming out onto the pitch. What do you make of the team sheet that we've been given this evening, Ian?
Yeah, so there's obviously a couple of changes from Saturday. Brendan Galloway coming back in for Gillespie at the back there. It's a straight swap, so don't expect any changes in the system as a result of that. And then again, some slight rotation up front in Ryan Hardy, obviously fit enough to start the game, having been unwell at the weekend. So it's Luke Jeffcott that gets the rest this time round. So it will be really interesting to see, you know, Garrick and Hardy playing together, in terms of they've both got that pace that can really threaten Bolton at the back, but we also know that Jordan Garrick can come and link up the play as well. So looking forward to seeing how that pans out tonight.
It must be nice for him as well to see that through after a successful game at Oxford, to then, you know, be picked in the starting lineup this time. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's important as a striker. You know, that rhythm of goal scoring is something that doesn't always happen, and strikers tend to get in that swing of scoring goals. Ryan Hardy's been in it so far. Luke Jeffcott's had his own spell, and now if Jordan Garrick can go on a little run of scoring goals, you know, that would be fantastic for the team as well.
Yeah, it would be, like you said, it would be nice to see them link up. Everyone is now out on the pitch in the rain, which you can probably see just on your screen now. What we're going to be talking about next, not someone that's on the pitch or on the team sheet at the moment, but 16-year-old Will Jenkins-Davies. He is an academy scholar. He's been impressing Ryan Lowe this season, and he actually made his Argyle debut in the Papa John's Trophy game against Newport County back in August. He's also been selected for the Wales under-18 side for the first time, so quite a season for him. He spoke to Argyle about his journey through the ranks and his earliest football memories.
I'm William Jenkins-Davies. I play attacking midfield and I love to create chances for my teammates and score goals.
Well, when did you first join Plymouth Argyle?
So I joined Argyle at the age of 7 in the pre-academy, and yeah, it's been brilliant since then.
It's been the majority of your life has been as part of Argyle and part of the club then?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up coming to the games. I grew up just looking up to all the first team players, wanting to play out on this pitch in front of the brilliant fans.
Tell us a bit about you as a player. What you said, you like creating chances and creating scoring opportunities. Is there anyone either in the Argyle first team or that you watched growing up that you looked at, or potentially elsewhere that you kind of modelled your game on?
Yeah, so when I was younger, when I came to the Argyle games, Graham Carey was just the player that I just loved watching. He was just so creative, so energetic on the pitch, and I was really sad when he left. But at the moment, I think Danny Mayer is my favourite player in the team. He's just, the touches he takes are just mind-blowing, so I just look up to him and try and model my game around him. Not
bad players to model your game on, both of those. They've kind of been heroes of Argyle supporters around the place. Number 10 in your shirt, that could be you quite soon, eh? Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I want to work hard, and hopefully one day the opportunity comes. You've had your opportunity to play in the first team in a Papa John's Trophy game. Tell us about that experience and how much do you want to do that again? Yeah, so the whole experience just resonated with me and just like made me realise that that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I loved it. Just getting onto the pitch was surreal and everyone was so proud of me, and I just want to do it again. You've seen players this year especially, and last year as well. You could look at like Mike Cooper and Luke Jeff got in the last couple of years, Randall Law and now Reece Shirley, that have been getting the opportunity in the first team. How much of a kind of push does that give you, knowing that the opportunity is there? Yeah, massive. It motivates me every day because the gaffer's so willing to play youngsters and have trust in them, so I just want to keep proving to him that I'm good enough to play out there. And when you look around the pitch at the moment, I don't know whether you can spot the place you used to sit when you were watching as a kid, but can you imagine one day being there as a regular and maybe looking up and thinking I was watching there a few years ago? Yeah, I mean, if I get that opportunity, that would be brilliant. I remember being sat over in that corner in the family stand and just dreaming to be out here playing. Well, hopefully one day it will come true. Cheers, Will. Appreciate it.
Will Jenkins-Davies talking there. Now, Ian, I was going to ask you if you'd seen much of his work, but we've just found out that you've worked with him quite a lot before. Just talk me through your background with Will.
Yeah, so I was fortunate, obviously, as an academy coach to work a little bit with Will as he was coming through the age group. So, seeing him now break into kind of contention for the first team is obviously great to see. I guess it doesn't surprise me, in particular with Will, fantastic attitude and the type of person he is, as well as being a good player, is really important when you're considering young players.
Yeah. What kind of attitude do you need to have when you're that age coming up through the ranks? Because I imagine it can be quite overwhelming at points.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge commitment, not just for the players, but for their family and their support network as well. So it's a lot of travelling, it's a lot of nights of training, and lots of the games which are often are long distances away. So they need that support network around them. But for the players themselves, they've got a tricky job because they've got a lot of training to go through, lots of things to concentrate on the football side of things, but clearly their education is hugely important because very few of them in realistic are going to get a chance to become professional footballers, so they have to concentrate on that as well. How
do you balance that kind of, because I suppose it's something that maybe people don't tend to think about. If you're an academy player, like you said, you've got school and things to manage. How does it all balance out?
Yeah, so I think it's important to say kind of that the academy would have people that are in touch with the players' schools, so there's that communication about schoolwork that goes on. So the club will know how the boys are doing at school, and the boys will know that perhaps there's that kind of line of communication that they need to make sure that they knuckle down and kind of put effort into that side of things as well.
They can't just do football.
No,
they
absolutely.
Have to be behaving at school too.
Yeah, but it is obviously a sad kind of reality of youth football, that not many players will make it, and certainly even fewer will make a career of it. So it's really important that when they get that opportunity, as Will is getting at the moment, that they grab it with both hands.
Yeah, especially being picked for the Wales under-18s too, like that's an accolade. How valuable would this experience be to him at this age, do you think?
Yeah, it's a great experience. Being in and around the first team squad. Will, as an attacking midfielder, he's a really proactive player. So kind of on and off the ball, he looks to really influence the game. He's fantastic at pressing and winning the ball high up the pitch, and he always looks to break forward and kind of be an attacking threat as well. So, he's certainly fits into the way that Ryan Lowe likes to set up his teams in terms of having a couple of attacking midfielders on the pitch.
Yeah.
So hopefully we might get to see a bit more of him in the first team this season.
Yeah, and we've got some slightly older players as well that have come up through the academy. Is this just a testament to the academy producing once more?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of say once more, but obviously for the players that have come through, Mike Cooper, Luke Jeffcott, Adam Randall, Mike and Adam in particular, I think were with us from, a very, very young age.
Yeah.
So it's not just the work that's gone on recently with them. Undoubtedly, that's been really good, but we've got to remember that at the academy there's a whole team of coaches, right down to under 9s and below, that have been working with these players for a long time, and it's the fruits of all of their labours really. It's not just obviously the fact they're now getting the first team that's important.
Yeah, and there we are. I was just going to have a little look at the players that are behind me and Ian. They are getting pretty drenched on the pitch, but we can see, and what's nice as well is you see the youngsters as well, the really, really small ones, going up alongside the pitch, and that must be, are they kind of part of,
I reckon they're the mascots tonight.
They're mascots, yeah.
So they get a chance to kind of warm up alongside, and
Yes.
they do their own exercise and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great for them.
And speaking of mascots, I can see Pilgrim Pete as well. One of the virtues of being up here in the gantry this evening, because we are rained off, is that Pete will not be here to grab my hair or photo bomb our interview like he usually does, but I'm sure we'll be reunited with Pete once more very, very soon. Just before we move on to Bolton's team, we've got another youngster who's made his debut this season, making headlines over in Northern Ireland. So we've got a lot of players that have got, their fingers in multiple pies, shall we say, and that's Freddie Isaka, who became the club's youngest player earlier in the season. What do you make of Freddie?
Yeah, it's extraordinary, for someone to be involved with the first team at such a young age, and again, great experience. I'm sure everyone around him will help him keep his feet on the ground, but yeah, Freddie's an exciting prospect. He came in a little bit after my time in the academy in terms of coaching, so didn't get to work with him directly, but I've had a chat to a few of the coaches, and I think they're really excited by him. He's an attacking type of player. He's got real pace, fantastic in 1v1 situations on the ball, and seeing him score for an international goal this week is fantastic for him as well.
And I'm seeing here he scored recently in the Victory Shield. That must be, again, quite an accolade to have under your belt at such a young age.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a great little tournament to play in. So, several matches at international level. And again, that experience of going away from home and being involved with an international squad, it'll be a fantastic learning experience for him. And he'll come back to Argyle, I'm sure, and we'll get the benefit from that.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Just a reminder to you watching at home at the moment, from the luxury of your nice, dry, warm homes. We would love to hear from you this evening. You can get in touch with us on social media. Best one is Twitter, because that's the one that I check the most. And if you want to do that, that is at only1Argyle on Twitter. Send a tweet, let me know where you're watching from. I know we had quite a good number of you tuned in, ready to watch Argyle TV on YouTube before this started. So thank you for watching so far. Hope you're enjoying the pre-match show. Get in touch, because I'd love to give you a shout out during half-time. And we are about half an hour away from kick-off here at Home Park now. So get your tweets in while you have the chance, and then you can sit back and enjoy the game. For now, though, you are watching Argyle TV, and we are building up the match for Argyle against Bolton Wanderers. Welcome back. You are watching Argyle TV with me, Erin Black, this evening. We are building up to all the action. 7:45 kickoff tonight in the rain. Argyle against Bolton Wanderers. Before we take a look at the team news for Bolton, I just want to remind those of you that are watching, wherever you're watching from, that there is more exclusive content for you on Argyle TV. All you need is an Argyle TV subscription, and for just £4.50 a month, you get full match replays, exclusive interviews, behind the scenes features like matchday moments and tunnel cam, and of course teammates.
Probably say like Jobo, Granty actually, Conor Grant. No matter what, I went to the arcade with him last night and he was just kept spending his pounds just trying to beat us on like the basketball and stuff like that, so I'm just going to say Conor Grant. I'm going to say Joe. He's always trying to get his hair like bang on, no matter whether we're going out for training or if he's got like a little interview or a bit of press and that. I always just see him just doing one of them in the mirror, so I'm going to say Joe. Brendan Callaway. I don't know whether he's efficient or he's close. Pre-season he was always strolling. Yeah, but he's always on time, but he was just one of the later ones. Yeah. Willow. Yeah. He's a good roommate, to be fair, apart from he's got the weirdest thing ever. He says it's like he's got a cute story as to why it happens, but has to sleep with fan music on. So he has to have a fan on, or he has to on his phone like put fan music on basically, or a fan sound on to get to sleep. Strange, but yeah. Apart from that, he's all right.
Teammates and many more features available for you there over on Argyle TV. It's just £4.50 a month. I can recommend it, not because I'm biased, but because I have it. That is one of the places I brush up on all my football knowledge when I'm not tapping up Ian Stonebridge to give me answers. Right, let's have a look at the opposition now. So Bolton, they are 10th in the league, Sky Bet League 1. Just a reminder, Argyle are currently top of the league. Let's not forget that. They did win promotion last season, but unfortunately they have lost, well, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for them, they have lost their last 2 games, including a 4-0 loss to rivals Wigan this weekend. Some footage of Bolton there in their last game against Wigan. They are now, of course, here with us in Plymouth at Home Park, getting ready to take on Argyle at 7:45. We're going to take a look at Bolton's squad now, see who their starting lineup, and we also have a few familiar faces on the bench too. So in goal for Bolton is Dixon. We also have Williams wearing the number 4 shirt, Captain Johnson, number 6, Sheehan at 8, Bakayoko at 11, Afolayan, number 17, Lee, 20, Brockbank, 21, Isgrove, 23, Baptiste, 27, and Gordon, 29. And amongst the bench, we will see the familiar names of Anthony Sarcevic and Will Aimson. Interesting to see those names back at Argyle, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, both of them were popular characters here, particularly Sarcevic. He was a really all-action midfielder, worked so hard, and is perhaps in a similar vein to Panucci Kamara at the moment, in that he was very popular with the Green Army, and again, rightly so, played lots of games for us, really influential player during his time here. So yeah, I'm sure he'll get a great reception tonight. Hopefully he doesn't do us any damage.
Yeah, he's got to tread a very fine line between keeping the fans happy in a way that we get to see him, but he doesn't infringe on us in any way at all. Aside from the past 2 games, which have obviously been losses, have they been quite impressive, having been promoted last season?
I think with Bolton being a big club, at this level, you'd kind of expect them not to be the sort of team that comes up and then struggles. You'd expect them to be ambitious and to want to kind of press on and make progress again. And I think that's shown. They've had a mixed fortune, so they have still won plenty of games so far this season already. So it's certainly not Argyle won't be going into this thinking they've got an easy game. And obviously with the reaction from their heavy loss at the weekend, their manager in particular is going to be looking for a real kind of performance from his team.
Yeah, and like you said, coming off that loss, there was maybe a little bit of pride lost in that, because I know the manager previously was talking about being one of the best teams in the league, and then obviously suffering a defeat like that. It doesn't bode particularly well for them, I suppose, coming up against Argyle, who are at the top, and deservedly so.
No, perhaps not. And I think it's quite widely reported that the manager kind of made that statement and made it publicly, which is obviously brave. But I understand he did something similar when they were kind of way down in League 2 last season, and it worked out all right for him then. So, maybe it's a tactic. He knows what he's doing. And without us knowing his own dressing room and knowing his players, we don't know if it might have the effect that he's desired, even if it didn't have that immediate effect on Saturday. Yeah.
And I suppose being promoted as well from a lower league to be currently 10th in the table, it's not actually that bad going, really, is it?
No, and it's obviously still early days, and I think they'll be looking to kind of consolidate where they are, and he's made several changes to the team, as you might expect after such a heavy loss. So again, it will be interesting for Argyle to be able to kind of adapt to a lineup which they might not have been able to anticipate very well ahead of tonight's game.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, Bolton, they are a big name club. We see now behind us the fans have started to pile into the stadium, particularly from our end. There are a few away supporters as well. This is the kind of game that, despite the weather, Argyle fans are going to want to turn up to and see play out in real life.
Definitely. I mean, we're in League One, but tonight's game doesn't feel like it's a League One match. You look at the fantastic stadium. The pitch is like a carpet, despite the rain, and it's, as you said, it's filling up quite quickly now, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere tonight.
What are the dangers for Argyle then? Because we've spoken about Argyle's defence and their attack and how that can be a danger for other teams, but what do we need to look out for from Bolton today?
I think, Argyle being at home, I don't think they'll be too focused on, trying to stop Bolton. They'll be aware of some of their strengths, and they'll be aware of the system that they play, and they will try and set up to stop that when Argyle are out of possession. But, the onus really on Argyle here at home to take the game to Bolton, show them why they're top of the league, and show the fans. We had a fantastic 1,800 supporters go to Oxford at the weekend, which is unbelievable support, and I know the players will really support and respond to that. So again, it would be fantastic now for the home crowd to get that same experience, and hopefully to get the right result as well.
Yeah. What do you want to see from the Pilgrims going into this game?
I think just that positivity and that work rate. This place will be fantastic if Argyle's players show that determination, they get stuck in and work, and then they have that quality on the ball that we know they've got. So a bit of that application and work rate first to establish themselves in the game, and then we can hopefully then see their footballing ability shine through.
I mean, we saw them put away 3 goals against Oxford. Is there a pressure to kind of deliver a similar amount of goals, or is this the kind of game where they will be looking to maybe play it more safe tactically because they're against Bolton?
Yeah, I'm not sure that any of Ryan Lowe's teams have ever been described as safe tactically. I think it's in his nature to go and attack, and not all-out attack, not gung-ho and not taking loads and loads of risks, but having a considered plan that is really in attacking shape and giving the midfielders in particular the licence to go and support in attack, which was what we saw at the weekend with Kamara getting forward to such deadly effect.
Yeah. Do we maybe need to see them be a little bit more cagey in the opening moments of the match after what we saw in Oxford? There's been a previous game with an early goal from the opposition. Is that something maybe they're going to be a bit more aware of?
Yeah, it was quite tricky. I mean, Oxford, I think, again, are kind of known to be a side that tried to pass the ball out from the back, and as much as it was a great start from Oxford, there wasn't really a great deal that Argyle could do about it.
Yeah.
They started slow. Maybe you could argue they needed to be slightly tighter. But tonight, I guess, as the home side, the onus is almost on Argyle to come out and be that team that takes the game to Bolton from the very start.
Yeah. Well, Ian, before you join Rob McNichol over in the commentary box on the far side of the pitch and get a little bit drenched on your way, can I push you for a prediction of how you think tonight's game is going to go?
I think it would be great to see Argyle's strikers get on the goal sheet again tonight. So maybe, 2-0 for Argyle. A nice clean sheet to go with it, perhaps.
Yeah, okay. Well, we like the sound of that. Thank you very much, Ian. You're going to go off in a minute. While you make your way, I'd just like to remind everyone that you can get in touch with us here on Argyle TV. We are on social media, as I said before, at @only1argyle on Twitter. I will be checking our Twitter DMs and mention. I don't actually think I'm allowed access to the DMs, but I'll check the mentions at least and let me know where you're watching from. Hopefully we've got Chairman Simon Hallett watching. He usually tunes in from America. And let us know. I'll be back at half-time to read that information out for you. Lots of other games being played tonight in League One as well, so let's go through them for you now. The graphic is on the screen. These are the games you need to look out for. Cambridge versus Sheffield Wednesday, Charlton Accrington, Cheltenham Morecambe, Crewe v Sunderland, Fleetwood Burton, Gillingham Doncaster, Lincoln AFC Wimbledon, Oxford Shrewsbury, Portsmouth Ipswich, Rotherham Wickham, and Wigan MK Dons. Plenty more teams on the lineup today compared to the last time we were home here at Argyle when I had about 4 to read out. So I'll try and get around that as the game continues this evening. Like I said, get in touch with us if you can. I will be back at half-time to read some things out, and we're going to keep you updated with all the scores as the game continues. We are just coming up to 15 minutes before kick-off here. You can see we've got crowds inside the stadium, which provides a perfect time for me just to remove some of my own hair, which has flown into my mouth. So thank you very much, cameraman. Excellent. So, here we go. You can see behind us we have got nice amount of crowds filling up Home Park this evening. They've braved the wind and the rain. The weather, of course, will be inconsequential in the end. It's all about the score that we see today. So 7:45 kickoff, not long for you to wait at all. We're receiving a round of applause from the Devonport end at the moment as the players are walking towards the corner flag. You probably can't hear them because I'm too busy talking, but big chance for Argyle. And hopefully there we've got Joe Edwards down there as well. Just finishing off their pre-match warm-up on the pitch. And just before we hand over to Rob and Ian over in the commentary box for this evening's game, we are delighted to let you know that we have teamed up with online food order and delivery company Uber Eats for the 21-22 campaign. So they're going to be joining the club as an affiliate partner. Uber Eats will also sponsor all of our pre-match content. Our pre-match quiz, in fact, on the official Argyle app, so check that out if you haven't already. And they'll also be sponsoring our brand new Moment of the Month feature, which will be happening on our club's social media channels as well as Argyle TV. So to kick off that partnership, Argyle fans can download the app. You will receive £10 off your first order, and when you spend a minimum of £15, all you've got to do to get that is use the code Argyle10 when ordering. Right, that's it from me. We are almost ready to go. 15 minutes until kick-off. A reminder, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you head over to Argyle TV and you'll be able to catch the entire game. It's Argyle against Bolton Wanderers, and it's coming up next. Thank you very much.
Well, we always like to talk about Tuesday night under the lights. We don't always have this kind of lights in mind, but it's fantastic to see not only the light show that has been being put on at Home Park this season via pyrotechnics and electronics and the like, but also on the pitch as well. Can this fantastic start to the season at Home Park, and let's face it, everywhere at the moment,